Is Lizzo being canceled? Well, the singer has already lost 200,000 followers on Instagram after 3 of her former dancers sued her, claiming they were weight-shamed, sexually harassed, and subjected to a hostile work environment. Lizzo denied the claims and said they were coming from former employees who have already, this is her quote, already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. The lawyer for the 3 dancers is also speaking out, saying he's heard from more people about Lizzo's behavior. Take a look.
Now that that this is out, the cat's out of the bag, people are coming forward and going, you know what? I went through that. People they have no financial benefit to come forward on social media. The former creative director, another dancer, and there's people calling my office that used to work with Lizzo going, you know what? Behind closed doors, this is the way Lizzo is.
So what do you think? Are we watching Lizzo getting canceled as we speak? Erica, you weren't here the last couple days. We had the conversation about it. Where do you lie, especially with this new information?
I am attending the school of Al Jackson on this one, and he has a theory that no one can actually be canceled because cancellation only identifies who your ride or dies, your core audience, the people who are always going to believe in you and root for you lie. Now, that being said, there is another side to this because obviously we've heard from the dancers and as well as a well-known, respected director. People are weighing in on their experiences. But then you also have the other side where there's a video circulating of one of the dancers talking about how Lizzo essentially has changed her life and that she looks up to her as the queen that she is. And then you're also going to hear from people, to the attorney's point, that they have no financial incentive. But this is 2023 and clout is a hell of an incentive for some people. So I'm listening to all of these things and also thinking that there is a shift in cancel culture. Lizzo has been greatly protected in a lot of realms. Of course, she has been highly scrutinized for her being, for everything that she is. But she's also enjoyed some protections as well. So to see some people who look like us publicly coming out against her, it signals to me that there's a changing of the tides.
Well, they're going after her brand, which is a bigger deal. But, you know, Lizzo has always been the, you know, big girls should be recognized. We have talent. We can move. We can dance. We can sing. We're talented. She had a show. I actually watched these young women that are accusing her. I watched that show. It was a great show. I watched those women saying, once I saw Lizzo, I knew that I could do something in public. I knew I could be the entertainer that I felt what was inside of me. So to see them go after Lizzo for what her brand is I think much more damaging than what we would normally see. And as it pertains to cancel culture, I would like to hear Lizzo's narrative because I don't think Lizzo just saying I didn't do these things is enough. These women have a narrative. I was fat shamed. I was this and that. I think Lizzo needs to tell her story about where this came from, even if she can't get into the legalities of this. She needs to let people know where she's coming from because right now this is a very bad news cycle for her.
I disagree with you on that. I think Lizzo should stay as quiet as possible only because litigation is coming up. But she will be able to tell her story in court. I think why this blew up so much is because Lizzo is always seen as the go girl. And now women are like, you know, go big girls, go women, positivity, sexuality. And now that is what she's being accused for. It reminds me of Ellen. Ellen was the cool dancer. Everyone's fun. And then they're like, no, it's awful backstage. Like, you don't know. So it's when the curtain is dropped, you see the wizard, and they're the exact opposite of their public image. It really gets, like Johnny Depp. I thought he was always like such a great Jack Sparrow all the time. Turns out he's like not a terrific guy. So this is why I think Lizzo it's very confusing to people. But again, I don't consider cancel culture anything to this. This is accountability. Someone's calling her out. We're going to go to court. That's what happens. Cancel culture to me is not about this. I think the word has just been used so poorly, I don't like using it. I think it's backfired.
It's definitely backfired and gone too far. I talk about it all the time, the correction culture, things like that. I think where we're at now is people are starting to be accused of what the causes, right? Did you do this, Lizzo? Let's figure this out. When the last couple of years, and I still think it's shaking out, you're protected, like Erica said, based on your color, your race, your sexuality, any kind of marginalized group, you kind of have this protection, and people blindly take your side. Similar to politics. I'm blue, I'm red till I die, I'm blue till I die. If my guy does something or my girl does something, it doesn't matter, I'm on their side. We need to start calling people out. If Lizzo did this, these are some harsh allegations. You need to be punished for this. Will she work for CBS, NBC, the big three anymore? I don't think so. That's what cancel culture, I think, represents now. You can't work for the big three. You can't be their main stage. But does she still have an audience? Of course. She'll never run out. So you can be canceled if you don't have that following. But if you have a following like Lizzo with 13 million people, you're uncancelable. You could produce your own concerts, rent out your own venues, and make your own money. She'll never run out of people. Doesn't mean what she did was right or wrong.
But how do we know she did it? I'm sorry, Sammy.
That's exactly my point.
Right. That's what I'm saying, right or wrong.
I think we forget about
taking it
perception.
seriously. Right.
Yeah, but you kept saying accountability culture, they need to be held accountable, and I agree with you. But in situations where, especially when it gets murky with entertainers, where they might be at a concert and then they go out after because their concert ended at midnight, and Lizzo's perception might be we're having a good time with, at a strip club.
Totally.
And then maybe one of the dancers' perception is this is super unprofessional.
Totally
I am
agree.
so uncomfortable. And then they get fired and then they remember that. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but if alcohol is involved, I'm telling you, lines are blurred now, especially if you're an entertainer. And an entertainer is a brand. So when they go out, that's their corporation. And it's hard to somehow have a boundary there.
With those allegations not being true or not proven at this point right now, let's say that was me. And I was out there, and I'm still sitting on this panel, and I was accused of those things by 3 different women, a producer, the exact same scenario as Lizzo. Would I be sitting here right now, or would I be taken off the air?
It's a double standard.
But
Go ahead.
Well, no, but I think that's not really apples to apples, because there isn't a physical seat that she can be removed from.
Okay, take that example sucked. Put a white guy in that scenario. What happens to him?
But can I push back on this?
It's the same.
It's the
Honestly,
same?
I'm really gonna say it is the same. And the reason why I said about the protections is, as someone who, I'm sitting here as a black woman on television, I am not going to, at any point, say something about another black woman that has not been completely vetted and thoroughly. So, yes, absolutely, I'm not going to do it. And the reason why I'm not going to do it is because, historically speaking, that's all that we've ever had.
I get that.
So I don't need to jump on a hate train to make sure that that I'm giving a stance, because I understand that hate train existed before she got there. It existed for the downfall of her to be there. It's always going to exist. So why would I contribute to that?
Totally get what you're saying.
So that's what I'm saying in terms of like the protection.
And that's what I'm saying. That is the protection. You're protecting her, right? Because you are.
But then people who look like someone else
I get it.
do the same thing.
I get it. But if you put, and I'm making it very black and white, if you put a white guy in there, we are not taking his side. We are not breaking it down.
Because of the historical context.
We are taking their side.
We're not pausing.
Jason Aldean still has people who are going to listen to his music and absolutely play it everywhere they go, just to prove a point.
One person up here who stuck up for Jason Aldean. One person up here.
Well, I'm not going to stick up for Jason Aldean.
But what I'm
it's
saying
a racist
is, because you can't cancel someone who has an audience. What I'm saying was, if it was a white guy, and I'm just putting that in there, we'd lambast him. We wouldn't say, hey, you know what? I think he might have a point. I don't think these 3 black women have any point whatsoever.
But there's a historical context.
I get it, but that's what I'm saying about cancel culture. We're taking sides based on our sexuality, our race, our biases.
I don't think you have to take a side. I just don't think that you have to contribute to someone else's downfall when we don't know
But if it's different people and different allegations, I know we got to go. It's just people are taking sides based on their political stance and everything.
That is a fair point.